When it comes to Pokemon cards, some of the least popular card sets tend to be base sets. Most of the time, base sets are released at the start of a new Pokemon generation, which can be quite exciting, as with the start of each generation comes a slew of brand new Pokemon. Given that this may be someone's first exposure to a new Pokemon, the artist can't be as creative with the ways that they draw the cards. It's important not to get too creative with drawing a card for a base set, since you could potentially end up misrepresenting the Pokemon. When it came to the Expedition base set, however, they said no to normal artwork and yes to Freaky Bayleaf. The Expedition base set is a pretty interesting card set. It wasn't made to coincide with a new generation of Pokemon like a lot of other base sets, but was instead made to introduce e-reader cards to the TCG. E-reader cards were made to be used with the Nintendo e-reader, peripheral for the Game Boy Advance, that when used allowed extra content to be unlocked in the games that supported the device. This set isn't just noteworthy for being the first e-reader set. What makes it stand out so much is that it has such a wide variety of strange and interesting art. The first card in this set features an incredibly surreal Alakazam. The Pokemon can be seen floating in front of some rocks and leaves, while a purplish fog lingers around him. Making this aura purple was an excellent choice, not only because purple and yellow are complementary colors, meaning they contrast perfectly with one another, but because it goes so well with the rest of the card. Not every card in this set would be drawn in the same style as Alakazam's, but Koffing's was. What the heck is this? Why is it drawn in such a dramatic way? This isn't some grand Pokemon of myth and legend, it's a floating ball of poison. If you thought this card was strange, wait until you see the Weezing card from this set, which in my opinion has got to be one of the funniest card arts of all time. While the set may have its fair share of bizarre and uncanny cards, there are definitely some cutesy cards thrown in to balance things out. For one, we have Ampharos, who can be seen discharging a large amount of electricity. Then we have Raichu, who looks like he was pulled straight out of Lucky Star. Clefable can be seen taking wing and flying over a city during the night, the full moon positioned directly behind her, while Mew can instead be seen floating gracefully among the flowers in a wild field. Butterfree would receive a very nice illustration in this set too, with the card showing the Pokemon about to fly out a window to join a couple of its friends in flight. Another illustration in this style that I'm fond of happens to be the Chansey card from this set. I love how small the Pokemon's face is compared to its body, along with how it's helping an injured Apom out while hiding inside a first aid box. It's a simple and fun illustration that perfectly captures the essence of the Pokemon. Some Pokemon in this set would receive multiple cards, most of which were starter Pokemon. For their final evolutions, most of the Pokemon would have one card with a more traditional artwork and another with a 3D model. While these renders are certainly dated, I find that there's a certain charm that they carry with them, almost serving as relics of a time-long past. As for their pre-evolutions, these tend to be all over the place. Take a look at Bulbasaur. In one card he's on his back, relaxing in a field, while in another he's mad at the sun for some reason. Totodile can be seen peacefully resting on some boats in one card, whereas in the other he can be seen tormenting an Oddish, whose evolution Gloom has a very strange card in this set. Out of all the Pokemon that received 2 cards in this set, I think the Totodiles is the best pair, although seeing as Cyndaquil was my starter in HeartGold, I am partial to his 2 cards in the set. One shows the Pokemon jumping around in a field, whereas the other shows the Pokemon in front of a ring of fire. The backgrounds in both of these cards are just great. On one hand you have this beautiful sunset with little bits of forest on either side, while on the other you have this beautiful display of fire and flora dancing above the Pokemon's head. It's entirely mesmerizing and totally beautiful. The artist Tomokazu Komiya had a field day with this set. You had this amazing Charmeleon card he drew that looked like something from the Stone Age, a chunky Clefairy singing in the meadow, a beautiful Magikarp card that references the Pokemon's mythological roots, a sad Cubone card that's just heartbreaking to look at, and to top it all off, he illustrated one card for the entirety of the Pidgey line. Now while Pidgey's card is nothing worth noting, I find that the Pidgeot card is stunning. Another artist that I think deserves some attention would have to be Kyoku Umimoto, whose dreamlike art is incredibly captivating. The winding waves and simple stars and squirrels card gives the artwork such a beautiful, calming feel, as do the stained glass shards found in the background of Cloyster's card. The illustration she made for Fearo's card is clearly evocative of some dramatic Eastern works. It's a card that's very chaotic in spite of its simple, flat aesthetic. She also happened to draw an equally chaotic card for Atkins, a psychedelic drawing that emphasizes not only the danger of the Pokemon, but plays on the nature of its poison typing. It's so nice looking through all these cards and being able to find so many great illustrations. It's one of those sets where the longer you look at the cards, the more often you find a new one you love. For every wistful Graveler, you have a pompous Vileplume. For every fractured Metapod, you have a freaky deaky Typhlosion card. The set has so much variety in terms of art styles. It's one of Pokemon's most experimental and risky card sets, but in the end, that risk is what ended up making this set stand out so much. I hope that the Pokemon TCG continues to take risks with their art, but not like this.